There is a moment every year when the world transforms. The air changes, the light shifts, and something deep inside you wakes up. For some, it is the first warm breeze of spring after long winter. For others, it is the golden light of autumn, painting everything in shades of fire. Some of us come alive in the heat of summer, while others find peace in the silence of winter snow. But have you ever wondered why? Why does one season feel like home, while another feels like exile? Why does your heart lift when certain months arrive and sink when they pass? Carl Jung, the great explorer of the human psyche, taught us that nothing in our inner world is random. The symbols we're drawn to, the images that move us, the season that call to our souls, all of these are messages from the unconscious. They are trying to tell us who we are, what we need, what we have been hiding, even from ourselves. Today, I want to share something with you that most people never realize. Your favorite season is not just about weather or holidays or childhood memories. It is a mirror, a reflection of your deepest self, of the phase your soul is living in right now, of the truth you have been carrying without words. There are 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Each one holds a different energy. Each one speaks to a different kind of soul. And the season you love most reveals something profound about who you truly are, about what you are searching for, about what you've been hiding. So I want you to think carefully, not about which season is most convenient or which one has the best holidays, but which season makes you feel most alive, most yourself, most at peace. Which season, when it arrives, feels like coming home. Is it spring, with its blossoms and new beginnings? Is it summer, with its fire and endless days? Is it autumn, with its transformation and letting go? Or is it winter, with its silence and introspective stillness? Take a moment, breathe, and let your heart choose. Because the season that calls to you is not calling to your mind. It is calling to your soul. And what it reveals may change the way you see yourself forever. This is not just a test. This is a conversation with the deepest part of who you are, the part that Carl Jung called the self, the part that knows the truth, even when we try to hide it. So which season chose you? Hold that answer in your mind. And let us begin. If your heart was drawn to spring, if the season of blossoms and rebirth feels like home to you, then you have chosen the season of the eternal optimist, the season of hope. The season that says, no matter how dark the winter was, the light always returns. Spring is the season of awakening, of life pushing through frozen ground, of color returning to a world that had turned gray. And if this is your season, it means your soul is forever reaching toward renewal, toward possibility, toward the belief that beginnings are always possible, no matter how many endings you have survived. Carl Jung spoke of archetypes, the universal patterns that shape human experience. And spring carries the archetype of the innocent, the child, the eternal optimist who believes in fresh starts. If you chose spring, this archetype lives inside you. You are someone who refuses to let the weight of the past crush the hope of the future. But here is what most people do not understand about spring souls. Your optimism is not naive. It is not ignorance. It is a choice, a courageous, defiant choice. You have seen darkness. You have felt loss. You have survived winters that you thought would never end. And yet, when spring arrives, you choose to believe again. You choose to hope again. You choose to bloom again. People see your lightness and think you do not understand pain. But you understand it better than most. You have just decided that pain will not have the final word. You have decided that after every ending, you will plant new seeds. You have decided that your story is not over, no matter how many chapters are closed. Spring souls are healers, not because you fix other people, but because you remind them that renewal is possible. When others are stuck in the cold of their own winters, you're the first flower that breaks through the snow. You are proof that life continues, that beauty returns, that hope is not foolish. It is necessary, but there is something you are hiding, something even you may not fully see. You are terrified that one day your hope will fail you, that one day you'll plant seeds and nothing will grow, that one day the spring will not come and you will be left standing in an endless winter with nothing but broken promises and withered dreams. This is your shadow, the part of you that Carl Jung said we must face if we are ever to become whole. You hide this fear beneath your optimism. You hide it beneath your smiles and your encouragement and your refusal to give up. But it is there, the quiet terror that maybe, just maybe, this time the light will not return. And so you push harder. You hope louder. You bloom more vibrantly. Because if you stop, if you let yourself rest, you might have to face the possibility that hope is not a guarantee. It is a risk. And you have been taking that risk your entire life. But here is what I want you to know. Your hope is not weakness. It is your greatest strength. The world needs spring souls. It needs people who believe in second chances, who plant gardens in the ruins, who sing even when their voice shakes, who choose again and again to believe that better days are coming. You are not naive. You are brave. And the fact that you keep choosing hope, even when it has disappointed you before, is not foolishness. It is faith. Not blind faith, but the kind of faith that has been tested by fire and still refuses to burn out. If you chose spring, you are a soul in the season of becoming, of unfolding, of endless beginnings. And the world is more beautiful because you are in it. If summer is your season, if the heat and fire and endless light call to your soul, then you have chosen a season of passion, of vitality, of living at full intensity, no matter the cost. Summer is the season of peak energy, the sun at its highest point, the days stretching long into the night, everything alive, everything burning bright. And if this is your season, it means your soul refuses to live a half-lived life. You want to feel everything, taste everything, experience everything. You do not want to merely exist. You want to be fully, wildly, unapologetically alive. Carl Jung spoke of libido, not in the narrow sense, but as life force, the energy that drives us forward, the fire that fuels our desires, our ambitions, our need to create and connect and consume life in all its forms. Summer souls carry this fire. You are driven by it, defined by it, and sometimes exhausted by it. People are drawn to you because you radiate warmth. When you enter a room, the energy shifts. You bring light. You bring laughter. You bring intensity. People feel more alive around you because you remind them what it means to truly live. You do not hold back. You do not dim your light to make others comfortable. You burn bright, and you invite others to do the same. But here is what you are hiding. You are terrified of burning out. You are terrified that one day, the fire inside you will consume itself and leave nothing but ash. You are terrified that your passion, the very thing that makes you who you are, is not sustainable, that it will exhaust you, that it will leave you empty. But here is what you are hiding. You are terrified of burning out. You are terrified that one day, the fire inside you will consume itself and leave nothing but ash. You are terrified that your passion, the very thing that makes you who you are, is not sustainable, that it will exhaust you, that it will leave you empty. This is a shadow of the summer soul. You live at such intensity that rest feels like death. Stillness feels like stagnation. Quiet feels like emptiness. And so you keep moving, keep burning, keep chasing the next experience, the next thrill, the next moment of feeling alive. Because if you stop, you might have to face the fear that without the fire, you are nothing. But you are wrong. You are not your fire. You are the soul that holds a fire. And fire needs rest. It needs space to breathe. It needs stillness to reignite. The sun does not shine endlessly without pause. Even summer has its quiet mornings and cool evenings. And you, too, are allowed to rest without losing yourself. Carl Jung taught that true wholeness comes from integrating opposites, light and shadow, fire and stillness, action and rest. If you are a summer soul, your journey is learning that passion does not require constant motion, that intensity can exist in stillness, that you can be fully alive even in moments of quiet. You are not weak for needing rest. You are wise. You are not less passionate for choosing stillness. You are sustainable, and the world needs your fire. But it needs you to tend that fire, not let it consume you. If you chose summer, you are a soul in the season of fullness, of peak experience, of living with a fire that refuses to be extinguished. And that fire is a gift, but it is also a responsibility. To burn bright without burning out. To live fully without losing yourself. To be the sun without forgetting that even the sun sets. If autumn is your season, if the falling leaves and golden light and crisp air feel like home, then you have chosen the season of transformation, the season of letting go, the season that understands that endings are not failures. They are necessary passages. Autumn is the season of release, of trees shedding their leaves to survive the winter, of harvest, where we gather what has grown and release what no longer serves, of change, not as something to fear, but as something to honor. And if this is your season, it means your soul understands something most people spend their whole lives avoiding. That holding on is sometimes more painful than letting go. Carl Jung spoke of the process of individuation, the journey toward becoming your true self. And that journey requires shedding. Shedding the identities that were given to you. Shedding the roles you have outgrown. Shedding the versions of yourself that no longer fit. Autumn souls are masters of this process. You know how to let things die so that new things can grow. People often misunderstand you. They see your willingness to let go and think you are cold, detached, unfeeling. But the truth is the opposite. You feel everything. You grieve every ending. You honor every loss. But you also understand that clinging to what is dead only prevents new life from emerging. You understand that transformation requires death. Not physical death, but the death of old patterns, old beliefs, old versions of who you thought you had to be. You are the friend who knows when it is time to leave the relationship. The one who can walk away from the job, the city, the life that no longer fits. Not because you do not care, but because you care deeply enough to honor the truth. You would rather face the pain of letting go than the slow suffocation of staying where you do not belong. But here is what you are hiding. You carry the grief of every ending, even the necessary ones. You carry the weight of all the things you have released, the people you have loved and left, the dreams you have buried, the versions of yourself you have mourned. And sometimes, late at night, you wonder if you let go too easily, if you are running from commitment, if you are afraid of staying. This is your shadow, the part of you that wonders if your wisdom is actually fear, if your ability to let go is actually an inability to hold on, if your comfort with endings is actually a defense against the vulnerability of beginnings. But here is the truth. You are not running. You are honoring the cycles of life. Carl Jung taught that life is not linear. It is cyclical. Birth, growth, death, rebirth. And you understand this in your bones. You understand that autumn is not the end of the story. It is a preparation for winter's rest and spring's renewal. You understand that letting go is not giving up. It is making space. You are not afraid of commitment. You are committed to truth. You are committed to growth. You are committed to living in alignment with who you are becoming, not who you used to be. And that takes more courage than most people will ever know. If you chose autumn, you are a soul in the season of transformation, of harvest and release, of honoring what was while making space for what will be. And the world needs your wisdom. It needs people who are not afraid of endings, who understand that death is not the opposite of life. It is part of life, who can look at the falling leaves and see not loss, but preparation for new growth. If winter is your season, if the cold and stillness and quiet darkness feel like home, then you have chosen the season of the introspective sage, the season of rest, the season that goes inward when the world demands you go outward. Winter is the season of stillness, of hibernation, of the world going quiet and turning inward. The trees are bare, the earth is frozen, life retreats beneath the surface. And if this is your season, it means your soul craves depth, solitude, the space to think, to feel, to simply be without the noise of the world demanding your attention. Carl Jung spent much of his life exploring the unconscious, the hidden depths of the psyche that most people never examine. And winter souls are natural explorers of these depths. You are not afraid of the dark. You are not afraid of silence. You are not afraid of being alone with your thoughts, even when those thoughts are uncomfortable. In fact, you prefer it, because you know that the most important conversations are the ones you have with yourself. People often misunderstand winter souls. They see your need for solitude and think you are lonely. They see your comfort with silence and think you are sad. They see your introspection and think you are withdrawn. But you are not lonely. You are alone, and there is a difference. You are not sad. You are reflective. You are not withdrawn. You are intentionally choosing depth over superficiality. You are the person who would rather have one deep conversation than 10 shallow ones. Who would rather spend a quiet evening with your thoughts than a loud party with strangers? Who finds peace in stillness that others find unbearable? You do not need constant stimulation. You do not need endless noise. You need space. Space to process. Space to integrate. Space to understand. But here is what you are hiding. You are lonely, not in the way people think. Not lonely for people, though sometimes that is true too. You are lonely because the depth you crave is rare. Because most people live on the surface, and you live in the depths. And it is hard to connect with people when you are speaking different languages. When they want lightness and you offer depth. When they want distraction and you offer truth. This is your shadow. The part of you that wonders if your depth is too much. If your introspection is self-indulgent. If your need for stillness is actually avoidance. If you are not reflective but just afraid. Afraid of the noise of the world. Afraid of connection. Afraid of being seen. But here is what I want you to know. Your depth is not too much. It is a gift. The world is drowning in superficiality, in noise, in distraction, and it desperately needs people who are willing to go deep, who are willing to sit with the uncomfortable questions, who are willing to face the darkness, both in themselves and the world, and not look away. Carl Jung said, "Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people." And winter souls know their darkness. You have sat with it. You have explored it. You have made peace with it. And because of that, you have a wisdom that cannot be taught. It can only be earned through the willingness to go where most people refuse to go. You are not avoiding life by choosing stillness. You are preparing for it. Winter is not death. It is rest before rebirth. The seed does not grow in summer. It grows in the dark, quiet soil of winter. And you understand this. You understand that the most important growth happens in invisible spaces, in the stillness, in the silence, in the depths that no one else can see. If you chose winter, you are a soul in the season of introspection, of deep rest, of inner work that will bear fruit when the time is right. And the world needs your wisdom. It needs people who are not afraid of the dark, who understand that silence is not emptiness, it is fullness, who know that sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is stop, breathe, and simply be, for seasons, for different souls, for different truths. If you chose spring, you are hope embodied, the eternal optimist who refuses to let the darkness win. You plant gardens in the ruins and believe in new beginnings, even when your hope has been broken before. If you chose summer, you are fire incarnate, the passionate soul who lives at full intensity. You burn bright and invite others to do the same, even when you fear the fire will consume you. If you chose autumn, you are wisdom personified, the transformational soul who understands that letting go is not loss. It is liberation. You honor endings so that new beginnings can emerge. If you chose winter, you are depth made visible, the introspective sage who goes inward when the world goes outward. You sit with the darkness and emerge with wisdom that can only be found in the silence. Carl Jung spent his entire life studying the human psyche, and one of his greatest teachings was this: we are not meant to be one thing. We are meant to be whole, and wholeness requires us to honor all the seasons within us: the hope of spring, the fire of summer, the wisdom of autumn, the depth of winter. They are all inside you. They are all part of your journey. But the season you chose today, the one that called to your soul most strongly, is telling you something. It is telling you where you are right now, what phase your soul is living in, what lesson you are learning, what truth you are being asked to face. And here is the beautiful thing. Seasons change. You are not locked into one forever. If you are in hope of spring today, there will come a time when you need the fire of summer. If you are in the stillness of winter today, there will come a time when you need the transformation of autumn. Life is not linear. It is cyclical, and you are allowed to move through all of it, to honor all of it, to be all of it. But for now, in this moment, your soul chose a season, and that season is trying to tell you something. It is trying to show you who you are, what you need, what you have been hiding, and what you are being called to become. So I want you to take a moment, breathe, and ask yourself, what is my season trying to teach me? What am I being asked to learn? What part of myself have I been ignoring? What truth have I been avoiding? Because the season you love is not just about weather. It is about you. It is a mirror, and mirrors do not lie. They show us what we need to see, even when we are not ready to see it. Carl Jung believed that the greatest journey we ever take is a journey inward, the journey toward knowing ourselves, toward accepting ourselves, toward becoming whole. And that journey requires us to look at the symbols our unconscious sends us, the dreams, the images, the seasons, the mirrors, and to ask, what are you trying to tell me? Your favorite season is one of those mirrors, and it has been trying to tell you something, maybe for years, maybe for your whole life. And today, you finally listened. So whatever season you chose, honor it, thank it, and ask it to teach you. Because the wisdom of the seasons is the wisdom of life itself. That everything has its time. That growth requires rest. That endings make space for beginnings. That darkness is not the enemy of light. It is the place where light is born. You are not just a person living through seasons. You are a soul moving through cycles. And every cycle, every season, every phase is sacred, is necessary, is part of your becoming. Now I want to hear from you. Which season called to your soul? Did this resonate with you? Did it reveal something you had not seen before? Share your answer in the comments below. Tell me your season. Tell me if it surprised you. Tell me what it taught you, because your story matters. Your truth matters. And sometimes speaking out loud is a first step toward truly understanding it. If this video moved you, if it helped you see yourself more clearly, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Your support allows me to continue exploring the depths of Carl Jung's wisdom, the mysteries of the human soul, and the truths that hide in plain sight. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for having the courage to look in the mirror and ask, who am I really? Remember, you are not just one season. You are all of them. But the one you chose today is the one you needed to hear from. So listen to it, honor it, and let it guide you toward the wholeness you are searching for. Until next time, may you honor every season of your soul.